Hello everyone, welcome to Ilian and the Magic Box. Today on our show, you're going to have Dan. Dan is from England in the UK. So let's see what Dan has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Dan, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for having me, Williams. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. So tell me, how was your weekend going so far?
Not bad, thank you. It started off with trying to do some DIY with good intentions, and the place that I went to go and buy the things that I needed didn't have them, so I had to give up and I had to sit down instead and watch television, which was a shame.
So tell me, what has been the highlight of your weekend so far?
On my weekend, I got to watch my daughter, who's 13 years old, play
Oh,
football and play in her local football match
it.
and do really well and enjoy herself and be a good team player and play a great game with all of her friends and just to watch her enjoy herself was great.
What's the biggest joy of being a dad then?
Oh, just watching them grow up, just watching them change and all of the steps. I miss having babies, little babies. And
Oh,
I've now got a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old, two girls, and
wow.
they're great. And the things that we do uh, as they are teenagers, and me with them are brilliant. But if someone gave me a new baby and said, "Look after this new baby, this is yours," I'd be quite happy. I think a lot of people would be like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with that," but yeah, I'd be quite happy. I miss that time.
Oh, I think children, they grow so fast and now,
Mm.
every day is just like, my God, you look back, you can tell very well, my God, I'm sure when you, like, in the blink of eyes, they are already, teenagers. And I think that's the way, it's just natural.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that makes your life go quicker than having children, you know. And like you say, time disappears. I'll see friends that I haven't seen for a little while,
Uh-huh.
and they'll ask after the children, and I'll say, well, one of them's nearly 16 now, and they go, that's impossible. Don't lie to me. But yes, I'm afraid so. Time has passed. We've all got older, um, but but I wouldn't change it.
And where are you from, them?
So I'm from Essex in England, just kind of Greater London, out of London area. Um, and I should speak a bit more like this. I should have a bit more of a Cockney thing going on, but I don't know. I never seem to develop the native Essex and Cockney accents. I was always a bit neutral. But I haven't lived there for ooh, nearly 20 years. So
Oh,
I just live in another part of the UK,
okay,
Buckinghamshire, Oxfordshire area,
okay.
and I live in a small village in the Buckinghamshire area, and
Wow,
it's very quiet, it's very peaceful, and
okay.
yeah, I've been enjoying that for a while now.
And why did you change from Essex to Oxford?
I left Essex because of studying at university. So
Hmm.
I left my parents' home and went off to study in Buckinghamshire. And that's where I met my wife, and that's where we put down roots. And we've lived in tiny little flats and that were leaking and that had boilers that wanted to explode and that had carpets that wanted to rot away from mold to just as people do, you just try and find the next place and the next stages of life. And
Right.
now we've got a house that I love in a nice, quiet little rural area. And
Wow,
yeah, and I can't see us leaving here, but you never know.
totally. Yeah, I think life is just like that, step by step, just, molding our lives the way it should be.
Yeah,
And yeah,
and you
just
think you have control of it, but you don't.
no,
Life just uh, takes you along with it.
totally.
If that makes sense.
And what do you do for work for a living then?
So part of my work, which is more freelance work, is working as a voiceover actor and narrator. So I've got a few audiobooks that will be coming out hopefully this year, but
Wow.
I can't talk about them at the moment because
Yeah,
there's NDAs that I've had to sign.
right.
But they're really enjoyable. And there's a few video game things that I've done voices for that again aren't out in the public domain yet, but they were a lot of fun. And that's and I work from here. We're in my booth at the moment,
Right.
and it's really enjoyable. And
Wow.
it's very much it's acting, it's performing. It's just that you're the only one here. It's you and the microphone.
Right.
But I've always enjoyed performing, and I've always enjoyed acting and being, I don't know, being silly, but you know, if you can do that professionally and someone can pay you to be stand in a booth and be a character and do a voice and have fun, then perfect, really. But I also freelance in different ways as well.
Mhm.
Camera operator, video editor,
Wow.
and when I'm not doing that for myself or for clients, I teach it at a university.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. But in the acting industry as well or not? It's a different, you teach a different topic.
So in the what I do at university is I teach filmmaking from
Oh, wow.
all the different modes of it, from camera, lighting,
Oh,
editing, a little bit on the writing side, the health and safety side of it as well,
interesting.
making sure that the students that I look after aren't going to go out and hurt themselves or other people because they want to make something. Every student, every young filmmaker wants to make a film with a gun, and you go, okay, you know, Hollywood is full of that, but how are you going to make sure that the world around you that you're filming in doesn't think that you've got a real weapon and that you're dangerous? When I was studying film at university, which I think was about 3,000 years ago, I was living with some people, and I won't name them here, but they went and made a film at 2 o'clock in the morning outside of our house with what looked like real machine guns,
Oh
and
my God.
the police were called, and the police had their own guns, which were quite real, and they told my housemates, "Get down on the floor. You're under arrest." And you know, my friends were also wearing ski masks, so they looked like terrorists.
Perfect crime, a perfect crime
Perfect
scene.
crime because they wanted to look like terrorists for their film, and they had cameras and they had lights and everything. But someone looked out of their window at the early hours of the morning and saw terrorists running around, so they called the police, which is the right thing to do.
Totally.
Um, and
Totally.
happily, I was asleep in bed and knew nothing about it, and I wasn't arrested, so that was nice.
Oh my God, I love this story. I think it became very real. I think, should
Oh
have a
yes,
camera all behind to make a second movie based on
that would have
this
been
scene.
good.
You know what I mean?
That would
That
have
would
been good. Yeah, the
be
perils of movie making.
totally, that would be so real. That would, and I think would combine to help the projects and also would combine to helping the police to see how,
Yeah,
amazing they are, how they are doing their proper
and
work like
yeah,
usually.
what were their response times very good? And they were. You know, my friends had been
Amazing.
filming for 10 minutes, and suddenly there was a spotlight came on them, and
Love it.
they were told to get down on the ground and to comply,
Wow.
which they did because they were very scared, because they're not really terrorists. They just
Amazing.
they wanted to make a good movie.
And I think it would be even better if the police people, they were not real. They'll come just to make fun. That's amazing.
Yeah,
They'll
that would
be
have
like,
been
"Oh,
good.
what? You're not real. Just come here to see if you're doing a good job." It would be
Yeah,
perfect. I'd love that. I'm
yeah.
just giving ideas now. You see, I'm just giving ideas to people right now. Filmmaker.
Go and
All
make it. Everyone watching, go and make that film. It'd be great.
right. Amazing. All right, then. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey. Okay?
Mm,
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
let's do that.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend, full of wonderful questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just first to relax before the first question, okay? Let's do it. Right, so before starting the interview, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about or you don't want to answer for some reason, always can change,
Mm,
okay?
okay.
Amazing. First question is, tell us about your earliest memory in life.
Oh, it's very strange. I have got very little memories of my childhood, and I don't
Mhm.
know why. It certainly happened. People have told
Yeah.
me, but my memories are of photographs of being a child, but I couldn't remember being there.
Interesting.
And it's been like that for a little while now. So when I think about myself, if someone says, "Oh, what were you like at age 6, 7, or 8?" All I can really do is remember looking at a photograph of that time and going, "Okay, well, I was there, and I know those people, and I remember that place, but I can't really bring that memory back." And I hope that there's not something deeply wrong with me, and that my brain works normally. But I can remember being at school at certain ages.
Mhm.
It's just those early years, and people can't always remember being a small child, but I think you can remember being 7 and 8 years old and up
Wow.
to 10 years old, but I've got so little memory of those things, which is a shame because you feel like you've lost out a little bit on something. But no, I remember being at school. I can remember some of primary school. I definitely remember going to secondary school because I remember being terrified. I just to leave the school that I was at, which was all very like not a lot of children there. Primary school was very different to secondary school,
Right.
especially in this country. I imagine that other countries are similar, but yeah, going to secondary school was terrifying. And like a lot of people, you go with friends that you went to primary school with. They move with you, so it's not like it was completely new. It wasn't a new part of the country. It wasn't a new part of the world. So I don't know what my fear was. I think it was just a bit of a fear of change and a bit of a fear of growing up.
Right.
And I was kind of I I would say that I must have been happy in primary school. I think I just got the hang of everything, and then everything changes.
Wow.
I can remember walking around the secondary school, which was quite big, and being told you need to be in room 4A. And I just walked around this school going, I can't find where I am. So I would turn up to classes late, and you get told off for being late.
Wow.
And it wasn't, there wasn't much punishment at school, but it was so when would this have been? Early 90s. And kind of things like teachers punishing students by
Mm.
like, hitting them with a ruler on their
Can you
knuckles,
imagine? Can you
that had,
imagine?
that had
It's
only just gone away, really.
yeah. Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
the although the teachers weren't allowed to put their hands on you or their rulers on your knuckles,
Hmm.
they could a couple of years ago, and I think they really wanted to. So when you turned up late for class, I think they really wanted to enact some corporal punishment on you, and they couldn't anymore, been taken away from them. So they were frustrated, and I would frustrate them regularly by being late. But I didn't enjoy school. I enjoyed friends. I enjoyed the camaraderie of going to school, and I did all right at school, but I didn't like academically, but I didn't enjoy it, and I don't know why. I didn't want to sit in a room learning maths for 2 hours every day. My I wanted to do other things, and I think that's where my going into performance and acting kind of came from because I felt a bit imprisoned at school, and I wanted to do other things, and they don't let you, William. They make you sit in that maths class, and they make you go
They're
to
quite
science,
common.
and they make you go to Spanish and French. But it was. I make it sound really bad, but it wasn't. It was fine. It was a good time.
It's quite common for artists. I think there. I hear a lovely man. He said that Sutter is in school. They should somehow find a way to see when the child inclines or can see some different. They could somehow earlier it should focus on that so they wouldn't be bored or they wouldn't be stressed out or they would get more appreciate about school because they would enjoy to focus more in that area or something. For
Yeah,
example, artist, when they
yeah,
spot something there, like, you know what, let's focus more in arts or in acting or in singing or in dancing, something
mm,
that you could see there. And I'm sure it'll be enjoyable going to school every single day. So
I,
I get your point.
yeah. I see it in my children now. My eldest child, she's an excellent artist with charcoals and inks and paint. She's really, really good at like replicating an object
Right.
in pencil and then into inks. And you can see her come to life when art is the task.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
it's like, right, put the art down and let's do some science and some physics.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not there.
she doesn't want to do that. And
I get that.
I don't blame her, but
Yeah.
it's important, and you have to
Yeah.
be well rounded, I would say.
Totally. I think it's good to know, to learn other topics as well, but somehow to be, I don't know, to find a way to give more attention to that area that the child is
Mm,
more inclined or
mm,
more excited about it. And I think knowing that, I think they would have more time for the others as well, because they know that they're going to have more time spent in that,
mm.
part of it. So, it's something there. Maybe one day it'll change. Let's see. Let's hope that,
Fingers crossed.
for sure. Next question.
Mm.
Adam from England. Next question is, which book had a big influence on you?
Oh, that's good. I think the Lord of the Rings books and the Hobbit, and even the Hobbit more so. I think that's a better book than all of the Lord of the Rings books. I
Shh,
think people
don't
would
tell anyone.
don't tell anyone that that's how I really feel. I think the Hobbit's a really good, really concise, tight story, and Lord of the Rings trilogy of books is fantastic, but it's so big, it's so vast, and there's so many subplots and everything going on. The Hobbit's just really tight, and then they made all of those films, and the films are excellent. And then they made the Hobbit films, and they tried to make what three films out of one small book, and they just missed the point of good um, how good the original book is just on its own, without needing to be divvied up and spread out, and to make as much money out of the film side of it as possible. As well as those, I really like the author Richard Matheson, and he wrote I Am Legend, and he wrote The Shrinking Man, and both of those I think are. I've read I Am Legend maybe not 10 times, but pretty close.
Wow.
It's a
Wow.
novella, so it's quite short. So it's not that big of a brag to say that I've read it that many times, but it's fantastic. And then Will Smith was in a film of that, and it's not the same. The book, I think you've got the Last Man on Earth, the Omega Man, and I Am Legend are all the same story. They all come from the original Matheson book, and they're all wrong. They're all made so differently than what the and you. I read it and I go, just make that. That story is excellent, and there's fat to trim off of it to make it a more palatable film. But what you see in the Will Smith one, which is getting a sequel for no reason, yeah, it's not the book. And I would urge anyone to seek out the original Richard Matheson I Am Legend and read that because it's so good.
And why does the first one you mentioned, Lord of the Rings and Roberts, gave a big influence in you? Why is that?
I think I read The Hobbit when I was maybe 13, 14 years old. Um, I think the reason that it was a big influence is that I avoided reading books in that way
Mhm.
for that early childhood because the television was there.
Right.
Why would I read this thing that takes effort and takes time when someone has turned the imagination of reading a book into something that I can watch and really enjoy. And it took me a little while. I think I might have even been a little bit older. It took me a little while to read a book and for my imagination to fill in everything that the author was giving you and to kind of lose yourself to a book. And The Hobbit was the first time that
Wow.
happened. And if I hadn't have loved that book so much, I, I I wouldn't have gone on to have read the other Lord of the Rings books, and I wouldn't have gone on to have that appreciation of that world that Tolkien made. And yes, I probably would have watched and enjoyed the films, but it gives you more if you've got that understanding. The when I read the when I read The Hobbit, I had two books that I was given. The Hobbit, which was a lot of fun to read, and 1984 by Orwell. And that's a very different prospect to read. But I loved that as well. And I've read that book multiple times.
Wow.
And I mean, to be honest, that may even have more of an impact because I think it's kind of influenced some of like my worldview around class structure and politics and how I look at politicians, how I look at the way that the world is run, and the pessimistic, very pessimistic view that I have
Oh,
on how things are. And I think George Orwell might have made me think that way, or might have opened my eyes to that. Let's say, but yeah. So yeah, I'd say two books, which were probably the first ones that I really took on board and tried to read, and you know, and finished. Whereas before, I
wow.
would start something and go, "This is this is effort," and the television is just there. Let's go over there. Yeah. So yeah, thank you Tolkien and thank you Orwell for making me have an appreciation of literature.
Next question. Let's do
Oh,
it. Yes, you can always dance with me. So before the next question, two questions in one. The first part of the question is, when was the moment that you realized that, okay, I came to this world to act or to be an artist or to be involved in the industry? And the second part
mm.
is, did you have the support of your family at the time?
So I would say that the reason that I got into performing, um, I think I was quite performative as a kid. My parents have got some good stories again, things that I can't really remember, but of me finding the family video camera and setting that up in the garden and presenting to camera.
Wow.
Sadly, those things have been lost to time because they were filmed
Wow.
on uh, mediums that don't, you know,
Right.
really exist anymore. So that's a shame. So I can't even look at them. But I think why I started to get into performance in terms of like theatre and being on stage and having an audience was that I was at school and I was just unhappy and I knew that something was, I wouldn't say missing, but something was amiss, something was wrong, and I I knew I had to change it in some way. So I'm probably about 15, maybe nearly 16 years old, and I felt the need to do something, and it felt like a big deal as a teenager to go and talk to my parents and say something's wrong and I need to do something, and I think I want to try and look into I don't know how to express myself in some way. And my mum found a local like youth theatre, independent youth theatre company, called them up and said, "Can I send my son along?" And I was
Wow.
terrified, absolutely terrified to go and do this because I hadn't interacted with other performers before. I didn't know how to be
Wow.
an actor properly. I didn't know how to be directed, and I went to this thing and I was absolutely terrified.
Can you imagine?
And then after maybe an hour or more of this, um, the teacher could see that I was struggling
Yeah.
and just said, you know, just kind of just let go. I want you to do something now. I'm going to make you do something on your own. Everyone's going to watch, and I want you to just let go. And she gave me something to read, and and I did it, and I there was just a moment inside of that performance, that reading, and that fear when I found the love of it. I found the enjoyment of it because whatever I said, which I hope was funny, the audience responded to it. And
Right.
it's that thing that you hear a lot of actors about, of kind of like they need the audience to buy into what they're doing, feed off of
Totally.
what they're doing, whether it's laughing or crying or fear. You need to know that what you're doing is impacting the audience. And
Wow.
I felt it in that moment. And I went, oh, there's that there's a drug that I'd like to have more of, please. And yeah, got absolutely sucked into that,
Wow,
and I think the teacher must have been fairly happy with themselves because they kind of went, "Oh, that's what I wanted to happen, brilliant." And then
amazing.
they gave me more to do, and I started, being main characters in their productions and things like that. And I did that for about 3 years, and then went off to university to study film and theatre. And yeah, and again, just kept chasing um, that enjoyment of making other people feel enjoyment. You know,
It's,
entertaining people was just kind of like this is all there needs to be, isn't there?
wow,
And then you try and earn money out of that, and that doesn't work. So you have to go and get a different job and do different things. But
totally.
yeah, I would say that was the moment. And uh, yeah, the second part of your question about having family support, always it's
Mm-hmm.
always been there. You know,
Amazing.
being as a young person, being driven to uh, the theatre group a couple of towns over, so that so that I can get something that I need. And my mum or my dad would have taken me there because they could see that that I needed that. And parents do all kinds of things for their children. But yeah, that's support. Anytime I would say anytime I've been in anything on stage over the last, wow, 30 years, William, how can it
Wow.
be? They've been there. You know, my parents have been there, and my wife is there
Oh, oh,
to
sweet.
watch. And I might come off stage, and my wife might go like, "That wasn't as good as it could have," but she was there, and
Oh, so,
or it's the opposite, and she goes, that was funny what you did. It might have been a little bit too rude, but it was funny. And please stop talking about me on stage. She might, because I've certainly brought her into like comedic things before and used her as examples. And sometimes that doesn't go down very well. But
and do you get nervous when she's there? Do you get nervous when you know she's there or not, or your parents?
no, no,
No,
I think I I used to get nervous as a performer, a young performer,
yeah,
and stage fright. I think I wouldn't even call it stage fright. It was fright of getting it wrong, fright of not doing a good job. And I don't know when I got over that, but like if you're in a theatre, the lights are on you, the audience is usually obscured by darkness. And if you look down into the audience and look at the first row, you can see people. Don't do that. Just look over the top of everyone's head. Look at the back of the
yeah,
theatre, which is
yeah,
where you're meant to be projecting to and where you're meant
yes,
to be reaching. And just kind of don't look at them. Feel that they're there, but don't look at them, I think is my advice for what it's worth. But and that really helps with like performance anxiety and stuff like that. Doesn't help you get it right and get your lines right. But yeah, that element of it, I think some people really suffer. Some people really cannot, speak in public and or perform that way. But I also think you can get over it. I
totally,
think everyone can get over that
totally.
by doing, and sometimes the hardest thing is doing. But yeah, experience wins out, and you can do anything,
Totally,
which I think is a good
absolutely,
message.
absolutely. Anytime, if you put your hard work, if you put your soul, if you put your desire, if you put everything, trust me, the universe can hear you, and things just go in the right time.
Mm.
All right, next question is: how would you describe a perfect friendship?
Oh, wow. I think having someone who is similar to you
Mm-hmm.
in your interests, but is also able to challenge you a little bit as well. I don't think there's any point having someone as a friend, any kind of partner who just agrees with you, wholesale, and is in some way sycophantic. I think I have been the sycophantic friend in the past where you just want your friend to, you just want someone to like you, so you just agree with them on every little thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's being a good friend. I think that's just wanting connection.
Yeah.
So yeah, having a friend who will, are we allowed to swear on your show?
Beep.
Beep. Okay, someone who will call you out on your. You'll have to beep that. Sorry, William. Bit of extra work for you. I won't do it again. Yeah, someone who is able to keep you on track.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah.
So, uh, but uh, yeah, but you need to be somewhat similar, and you need to have similar interests. And um, I'm very lucky that the friends that I've got are they're filmmakers, they're performers, they're actors of all kinds, from comedians to people who've worked in circuses.
Wow.
Um, and I'm very grateful. And I think let's try and answer that question, your first question, a little bit better. A, a real friend is someone that you might not speak to for 5 years. And then when you connect again, for whatever reason, you just pick it all straight back up again. It's
Quick.
it's it's like that
Yep.
time didn't exist. I had that. I've got some friends in the north of the country, and I happened to be there for work. And I said, I'm in the area. Can I drop in? And we hadn't seen each other in about 8 years, but the conversations just carried on from when we'd
Yeah.
last seen each other. And it's
I
not
love it.
like, we'd spoken on texts and on
Yeah.
phone semi regularly, but I hadn't been in their house. They'd had children that I hadn't met. And we just carried on, and there was nothing was uncomfortable, nothing felt forced or difficult. You just carried on, and you hug at the end of it, and I drove the hundreds of miles back home again. And I haven't seen that person again in a number of years. But if they turned up at my door or me
That's
at
it.
theirs, it would be absolutely fine. We'd just carry on.
Tell me a friend or a person in your life that when you're feeling the lowest, you feel like, I
Mm.
need to share this with this person. At the same time, when you're feeling the greatest, you feel like, oh my God, I need to share that with this person. Which person comes to your mind?
So I've got a couple of very good friends. One called Gareth, one called Chris, and um, they can take on both of those elements, the highs and the lows. Um, the highs are kind of easier, I suppose, and I can't wait to share successes. I'm looking forward to in a little while saying, "Hey, guess what? I was just being interviewed by this great person who wanted to talk to me. I don't know why, but that they found me and wanted to talk to me, and it's really exciting. I can't wait to tell you about it, and I
Oh,
can't wait for you to see it online." But I could also talk to them about things like depression and
oh,
anxiety and things
yeah.
like that. And those are things that I have struggled with for many years.
Hmm.
And some of my friends have had similar.
Yep.
And sometimes it takes someone who's had a shared experience to understand what you're trying to articulate, because you might not be able to get it out properly, but they've kind of lived it as well.
Yeah, totally.
And so to be able uh, to lean on your brother, to lean on your friend in that way is uh,
I'm blessed.
important and a blessing. Yeah, yeah. You're really lucky if you've got someone who understands those times when you have been low, and for them not to brush off your feelings as inconsequential, or to tell you to grow up, or to
Totally.
one of the expressions that I hate the most is to man up. Why don't you just man up and be a man about it? Because there aren't switches in your brain and in your body to turn
Totally.
off anxiety and low feelings and
Mm,
depression and stuff like that. It takes work, and it takes time to for those things to be resolved, or to improve. They might never resolve, but they might
uh,
improve.
okay, so both of them, Chris and Gareth, they're watching this interview right now and have a moment, an opportunity to send them a message. What would you say? They're watching.
Okay. Hi guys. I was just saying, I really appreciate you, but also, Gareth, you owe me £20, and I want that money. And Chris, that money that I owe you, you'll never get that.
Oh my God, I'd love to hear their sides now. It's not fair. They might go like, you know them. How about this £50 the other day that you
Yeah,
got done? And Gareth go like, actually, I remember £100 like a few years ago that I haven't
yeah,
paid me back.
yeah.
Anyway,
I'm sure I helped that guy out with some money once.
oh,
Yeah. No,
sweet.
no, they're great people, and I appreciate them very, very much.
Amazing. I think friends is like a relationship. You don't go around saying, "Oh, actually, you're gonna be my best friend." I'm gonna connect with you. It doesn't work like that. It's like a relationship. When it clicks, that's it.
Yeah,
Magical.
I think that's particularly true of men. I think we struggle to say, you are my best friend, and or that is my best friend over there at particular age. When you're children, that is easy, but it's not as that
Yeah,
connection's not
yeah,
as real as what grows in
but
adulthood, and the few people that you hang on to as close
totally.
friends, close to family. So yeah, I think it is difficult, to admit
But
that you love your friend.
yeah, amazing. That's why I give the opportunity here for people to say it.
Yeah, I love you
Pretty-
both.
Oh, sweet. You made in the end. That's it. You said in the end. 3 questions left. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, next question for you is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they start a relationship?
Oh. Um. So, a like a going into a relationship or a marriage. I think children is a big part of that. Is that something that both parties want?
Hmm.
And are you able to, if you want children and your partner doesn't, are you able to let that go?
Yes.
I can't imagine knowing that I would have to, I mean, particularly as they exist as people now.
It's
To
harder now.
Yeah, very, it's much
It's
harder.
impossible.
But
No, it's impossible. Not even hard. It's impossible. It's
yeah,
even impossible to think.
yeah. But to go into something, where someone has, well, you've had that conversation, and to think that you would have to let that potential part of your life go to keep a current relationship going.
It's
I think you
big.
both have to be on the same page, but also that same page doesn't have to be right this second. You can have that conversation and things can
Yeah,
change,
totally.
and both parties can change. The person who wants the children can relent, and the person that really doesn't, can grow into it.
Because
And
sometimes you think, sorry, that sometimes you think
yeah,
that, oh, I don't want to have kids. But however, when you meet someone that maybe it's such a, there's such a wish to have a child, and suddenly somehow you get into it and you change because we change every day. Our
yeah,
mindset is always changing. I
yeah,
get your point. Sorry, carry on.
yeah. No, no, completely that. I mean, me and my wife, when we got together, um, after a number of years, we had that conversation,
Mm.
and I was I was ready to have. I say I was ready to have children. I don't think anyone's ever completely ready, but I thought
Yeah.
I was from relatively young, like in my very early 20s,
Mhm.
thinking that I was completely ready to have children, and it was very important to me, and it always was. But I was probably a little bit deluded on it, because you don't know how to have children until they are in your life, and until you are dealing with that every day. But my wife wasn't as eager, and she was. It became a concern. I think she was concerned. Why would you want to stay with me if I've said that I'm not interested in children? Very luckily,
She challenged you. She challenged
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yes.
But I know it wasn't a deal breaker. I didn't want um, to leave that relationship. And then very luckily, her older sisters started having children. And so suddenly there were babies around, and there
Yes.
were toddlers around, and it just helped uh,
Yeah.
smoothed the way. And
Totally.
yeah, it was and it was, you know, years later that we had children. But yeah, I'm very glad it happened, and I think I think she would say the same. No, she loves the children, and she's a fantastic mother. So,
And how did your path cross for the very first time, if you can share?
with my wife,
Yeah.
we went to the same university. She was a year above,
Uh-huh.
and um, I was oblivious to the fact that she had any interest in me at all because I was an idiot. And I didn't think there was anyone who was interested. And I was really blind to the fact that she was giving me all the signals and everything, and I couldn't see it. I don't know why.
Oh,
And university ended for her, and university ended for me a year later. And
right.
then I'm going to say, let's just say a year later, I went back to that university town to see some friends
Oh,
who's for a birthday, and she was there. And let's just say she made it a lot clearer to me, and I could see this time, and that was it,
oh,
and that was it,
nice
and
one.
we just understood what was going on between
Oh,
us, and that was it,
nice.
and we've been together ever since. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Love the story. Two questions left. Let's do
Mm.
it. Okay, but before the last question, let's do a little game. Let's pretend now that you have the biggest budget in your hands and you're gonna
Oh.
put a project together. So money for you is not a problem. You're gonna be on it as well. Let's see, you're gonna put a short movie or a play or something, like a scene or something.
Mm.
And you can cast anyone to play your mom on this project, also anyone to play your dad. At the same
Oh
time,
wow.
a romantic lover, like a romantic interest, or a romantic love interest, and at the same time, you can, collaborate with any director or producer in the whole globe, anyone that you admire, that would love to work together to help you to put this project together. So tell me those names.
Oh my goodness, that's an absolutely huge question. Um,
They don't need to look like your parents or your wife, but just
no,
someone you'd like to work with, having this opportunity in your hands.
yeah. Um, so I I wrote a feature film a little while ago, and I'd love to try and make that come to life. And a it was a film about a daughter returning to her childhood home, uh, and to try to get her relationship with her estranged father back on track. And while she's trying to do that, it's revealed throughout the film that he turns into a monster at night, and so
Oh,
he keeps her at bay because he doesn't want her to be hurt. But she thinks he's just emotionally unavailable, and she believes that he's pushing her away because he doesn't like her, when in fact he he loves her the most in the world, and he's worried about what he's going to do to her
mhm.
if he were to be this monstrous thing in her presence. And
Interesting concept.
the film kind of goes on from there. But who would I cast? So I suppose I would cast myself in the father role, and see how that goes. Uh, in terms of love interest, only because I've just seen her in a few things recently, and I think she's brilliant. Samara Weaving as an actress
Okay,
is she's just done a film that's been released called Ready or Not 2, Here I Come,
okay,
and she's fantastic in that. And she's got great. She's a great actor. She's got great comedic timing, and she's got like action hero vibes to her as well. And
right.
she's brilliant. Um, uh, Older actors that I admire to play as parents. Helen Mirren is a
Wow,
fantastic actress,
wow.
and just to even if I could be in something that she's doing and just be around and just watch her work, and be in her company as she works, that would be fantastic. But also, in the same vein, Julie Walters, I think, is a
Just one. You can choose just one. You cannot.
ah,
Yeah,
all right.
just one.
Helen
Go ahead.
Mirren's in. Helen Mirren's in.
Okay.
Um, And then as a father, my goodness, who would play the father? I don't know. Um, I don't want to just pick something at random. I think Colin Firth's fantastic.
Okay.
I don't know if he's quite, if he could play, if I could play his son. I don't know about that. I think we're from uh,
There's always a way. There's always a way. It's a
different. There's
way.
always a way. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
So
work it out. We'll work it
of
out on set.
course. Oh my God.
And then director. I don't know. Oh, I do know. I do know. Sam Raimi. Sam
Okay.
Raimi of the Evil Dead films, and
Eh,
lots of other things, and the Spider-Man films.
right.
Um, is he my favorite director in the world? He's up there. He's very close, but I'd love to work with him as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now the question is gonna be a bit tougher now. So one
Oh
day you're
no.
gonna wake up in the morning having four missed calls on your phone from those four. You just mentioned out loud those four
Oh,
names.
okay. Yeah.
Which one you gonna call back straight away? Which one you gonna send a message? I'll call you back later. And the other two, you just ignore them for now.
Okay. I would call Raimi back, Sam Raimi. I'd call him immediately.
Okay.
I've got so much respect for him. Uh, and I'd again work on anything uh, that he was doing and that I was able to be involved with.
Right.
And then who would I text back? Helen Mirren, I think, just to say, "Yep, I'm just talking to Sam. Everything's sounding really good. I'm gonna call you in a little while." And then, yeah, I suppose Colin and Samara would have to be
Oh my God. Ignored.
put on hold and ignored for a little while. I'm sorry to both of you. And if we ever worked together, it wasn't my idea, it's William's idea.
I take the blame. It's fine. I take the blame. Okay. Okay. Next question is, what's the most meaningful gift you ever received?
Oh, most meaningful gift. Um, I would say, well, I'm going to cheat. Uh, as an item, it's a pocket watch that my parents got me for my 21st birthday that I still
Oh,
have and I still use. It's still very
sweet.
functional, and it's
Wow.
engraved, and it says, to Daniel, which is not many people call me Daniel. Happy birthday, love, mum and dad, and it's
Oh,
and
sweet.
I love it. It's sat on my bedside table as we speak,
Wow.
and yeah, I use it. I use it constantly. Um, so that's a real object, and then I'm going to be incredibly sentimental and say that the children are
Oh,
the greatest gifts, and I won't answer which one is. I don't have a favourite one, but sometimes I do because they can be pains in the neck. But no, they're just incredible.
oh,
They're just the best. They're the best people I know.
totally. What's the biggest joy of being Dan or Danielle? What do you like the most about being you?
About being me, God. So trying not to make this too long or too depressing in the first instance, but I have suffered with anxiety and depression from about the age of 10.
Mm,
And it's been incredibly difficult, and it's affected jobs, it's affected relationships,
mhm.
it's got in the way of my life. And performance has been an incredible escape, an outlet for all of that. And
Oh,
then it's hard to put a time figure on it, but like I say, that's been going on for 30 plus years. And then about 4 years ago,
wow.
it disappeared.
That's amazing.
All of this, and it was kind of overnight, but
Wow.
it, although it was overnight, it took a while for me to realize that I used to walk around with feeling my
Mm,
heart beat all the time. Any
yeah.
situation that would be anxiety inducing would be very difficult to deal with, and my body would react to it. I'd feel my heart beating in my chest. I'd feel
Wow.
sick. I couldn't deal with things. I'd run away from problems. And then I wish it had come a lot earlier in life, and it hadn't come in my 40s. But yeah, about 4 years ago, it
Amazing.
just went. And
Imagine the feeling that's not there anymore, this, pain or in this.
yeah,
I can imagine how
just
relieved.
that yeah, that weight to go. And the people that know me well and that know all of those aspects,
Hmm.
they'll say, well, what, you must have done something. Something must have changed. You must have
Amazing.
changed the way that your outlook on life, or the way that you are doing something, or it must have been diet, or it must have been an event. And it isn't. It's
Naturally,
it's
just
as
click.
close to a I'm not religious, I'm afraid to say, but it's the closest thing to a miracle that
I
I can put a
get.
finger on, because it's just I am I was going to say I'm a different person. I'm not. I'm me, but
I
now,
see.
like properly, that barrier that was around for so long
It's
is gone,
amazing.
and
That
I
cloud, that
I
cloud
worry
that
that
was
it comes back. But
that gray cloud was around your. It's such a. I love the story, Dan, and thanks for sharing as well. I think it's
you're
amazing
welcome.
to share that because some you never know, people may be facing same situations, and I
Yeah,
get your point. And sometimes, you know, it's life talking to you. Sometimes you're not ready. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe you need to go through that for some reason. Maybe in 10 years' time, you're going to understand why it clicked just 4 years ago. Or maybe you're never going to understand. We never know. But however, I get your point. The feeling,
mm,
my God, must be amazing for you to be able to go, my God, it's not, it's like when you break a relationship, which is hard, and suddenly you can, I'm free. You know,
yeah,
I'm free for the next one. You know what I mean? It's such a great
yeah,
feeling. It's the same feeling for sure, or even more powerful, more, powerful. I get that. It's amazing. Wow.
mm.
Good. Very good. Last question. Ready?
Okay.
Let's do it. Last one. All right. Before the last question, tell me a moment in your career as an artist that for you, you go like, you know what? I lived to be in that moment, or I will always remember, or I'll always have this moment close to my heart. If you can pick one moment.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say that there are a few, but
Mhm.
I'll give you one, and I'll give you one that's mm, it's a few years ago now. But so I've been performing in different capacities for, yeah, again, like nearly 30 years now, which doesn't seem possible. And I've been uh, an actor, an improviser, a stand-up comedian,
Wow.
a filmmaker. So on screen as an actor, and also as the director, the camera operator, director of photography, or editor, and kind of making
It's
the film.
a complete one. Like you got everything. Like literally,
I really enjoy
I love it.
all of that stuff. Um, but I would say the one that I'd focus on now was being asked to do some voiceover work good few years ago, and I was asked to do it as a favor. And someone said, "I've got a project, and I would you be able to help? Could you come and play this character?" And so, not this one, but I went into a booth, and they kind of directed me from the other side of the booth, and I'm reading the lines, I'm acting the part and doing the voice that they want me to do, which was this kind of old man, an old man that you believe is benign and nice, but he's really is evil, and that all has to come out, and uh, I don't know what you call it, a moment of clarity of just making this thing, doing this performance, and then just absolutely knowing that that's all I wanted to do.
Wow.
This part of it, there's all the other aspects of performance and art and making that I've done over the years, but I absolutely knew while I was doing that, while I was performing this piece for someone, and trying to bring this character to life for them, I don't know, my mind, my brain, my body just went, it's this. Just do this. You're happy,
Wow.
aren't you? Yes. So
Amazing.
just do that.
Wow.
And it kind of set me on a path to pursue the voice acting element more so,
Wow.
rather than other avenues, but I think I could happily be in a space like this,
Hmm.
perform a character in whatever is needed into the mic, and just enjoy that. And I don't. It's lovely to have audience interaction, but I can do this for me and just enjoy it.
Wow. Okay, so I'd like you to answer the last question with a different voice, a voice on
Oh,
one of your character that you've done before, or a voice that you can make up easily. Could be anything that
okay.
comes up in your head. Okay,
All
last
right.
question. All right, last question is: what does money mean to you?
Put me on the spot. He's put me on the spot. Hang on. Um,
Money is not the be all and end all of life. Money is nice, money is necessary, but if you can live without worrying about money, then that's what you need to strive for in your life.
there you go.
Keep the voice, because there's
Oh
second part.
man, okay.
There's second parts. And do you believe? Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I want to hear more. And do you think that money can bring happiness?
Money can bring happiness to you in the short term, but if you're not happy in yourself, then money doesn't mean anything. If you don't have someone to share that money with and to share that life with, then money's nothing to you. Money's paper and nothingness.
Oh my God, damn! You literally made me think I was talking to somebody else. Oh my God, that's so powerful. I love it. If I would close my eyes, I wouldn't be able to picture your image. I would picture something else. That's amazing. I
That's
love it.
yeah, possibly one of the more extreme ones.
Wow. I love it. Well done. Thanks so much. Thank you.
You're
Right.
welcome.
It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay. I'm going to say
Okay.
some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Oh, okay.
Let's start. Actually, no, I think I'm going to ask too much. I was about to ask if you could do a different voice for different words, but it'll be too much. But if you can, through the game, why not?
All
So,
right, we'll try.
one word for money:
Um, necessity,
fear,
crippling,
life,
adventure,
family,
Necessity.
love,
power,
religion,
dangerous.
sex.
Necessity.
I love it. Religion. Oh, sorry, religion. I said already. Politics,
Necessary evil.
friendship,
Needed.
desire,
Overwhelming.
regrets,
Let goable. That's not a word, but it's almost a word.
okay. You understand. Success,
Illusion.
wish,
Happiness.
and one word for happiness.
Family.
Oh, one word for England.
Home.
And the last one now, voice acting, one word.
Home again. I'm going to cheat.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your wife for a coffee and I'm going to ask her, find them in one positive and one negative word only. What should say about you?
Loving as a positive
Mhm.
and oblivious as a negative.
What's your star sign of astrology, Dan? I don't know if you believe in astrology.
Oh, what's mine? Cancer.
Cancer. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's play now, Dan, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do
Okay.
it. Okay, Dan, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, so if you could be any animal, if you could change yourself into any animal, what would that be?
Such a difficult question, but I love animals. I love when I'm doing interviews and the animals they jump around other people. I love it. I think they feel the energy, and I love animal. But the first one that came to my mind straight away for some reason was a dolphin. I would love to be a dolphin. I think there's some mystery about them. I think they are so connected with us. I think they're trying to teach us a message, you know. I
Mm.
just love, they're so beautiful. You know, I love the water, I love the sea. And, you know, knowing that this beautiful creature, they're there, you know, just like, my God. And fun fact, I remember once I went for my birthday to Spain, to Gran Canaria. And from there, on my birthday day, a friend of mine, we took like a ferry to go to another island, just to spend, you know, something different. And in the middle of the journey, I was literally looking the water, you know what I mean, close to the like on the place, and suddenly I saw those dolphins, like literally jumping. I couldn't. I was so excited. I started like going crazy, and it was my birthday. And suddenly, the gentleman who works there, like he literally organized everything, and he said to me, "I've been working here for like 20 years and I never seen dolphins like around this area in my since I've been here." And I felt like so lucky or special because can you imagine the dolphins?
Mm.
Literally, I was looking around and suddenly I saw those dolphins jumping around. And I said to him, "It's a birthday today." He was like, "I'm sure they came to somehow to wish you something." I'm not saying that I choose to be a dolphin because of that, but you know, it's such a beautiful creature, like such a
Mm.
beautiful animal. I think, yeah, dolphin for sure. My God, being free and you know, explore the sea and you know, I think being there, I would love that. But I could tell you so many others, but the first one that came to my mind, a dolphin for sure.
I got to film dolphins in Egypt, so I was like underwater filming, and it was absolutely incredible. I'm swimming inside of a pod of dolphins, and I'm filming, and then it felt really incredible. It felt, you know, you felt very close to nature.
Yeah.
And then we came out of the water, and I checked the camera, and the camera hadn't worked. So
Oh my,
I was in the middle of these animals, and they're
wow.
just very happily next to me moving. And then I look at the camera that I need to, you know, to have captured all the images with, and it failed.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
that was a shame at the time, but I look at it and I go kind of like, you know, that was an experience that was just for me then,
For you,
you know.
totally.
So
Goose, goosebump is saying that, goosebump for sure. And fun enough, you know, another occasion, one of those parks, I had the opportunity to take a picture with a dolphin. I remember like touching him. The skin's quite hard, their skin.
mm,
It's very hard. I was like, oh my God, I was supposed to be soft. I don't know, I never thought about it. But as soon as I touched the you know, their skin to
it's
take the
quite
picture,
rough, isn't it? Yeah,
yes, hard. I was like, oh my God, I was expecting to be this way. Anyway, yes, a dolphin for sure.
that's a good answer.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks so much for taking the time for the interview. You
Very
know, I would
welcome.
think talking to you through the interview it just literally made me go through some memories in my life as a child back in Brazil. You know, I love to see your passion about, you know, the industry that you are in. I think, you know, being an artist, exploring, you know, this path, such a beauty for you to be able to do something, you know, to be somebody else or to do a voice being
Mm,
somebody else. I think that's a gift when some people they can do that. And I could see how passionate you are about that. So amazing. Carry on. Wish all the luck for you to, you know, to
thank you.
explore more your career. And thanks again for taking the time. I know you're a busy man, and I think nowadays time is precious. You know, we are so busy. And when
But
someone takes,
this has been great, and I really appreciate you
thank you.
reaching out. It was something completely unexpected, and it's been really, really nice to talk to you.
Amazing. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I think it's something that I said earlier, which is just that you can do anything. If there's something that's burning in you to try and do, but there's any kind of fear that's stopping you from doing it, which certainly I've experienced, and
Yeah.
um, it's very easy to say just do it, and it's incredibly hard to get over yourself and get over those first hurdles. And so it's you can do it, but you have to push through. But you can then achieve the things that you're trying to do, and that achieving that might not mean instant success. It might not even mean long-term success, but you got over yourself and you pushed through, so you can do that.
Amazing. Very good. Amazing. Regards to your girls, to your wife and friends and family, and keep in touch. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Okay.
It was lovely. Thank you, William.
Take care. Enjoy your day. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.